Good evening, everybody. Good evening. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody is doing well. Good evening. Welcome to the live stream. We are back with another Danmachi Memoria Freese live stream. Just give me a second. We're gonna get into doing everything. We're gonna get into talking, and we're gonna get into some farming, of course. But I just need to share the stream in just a moment. Of course, get the word out there that we are indeed live. A bit last minute. I do apologize on that front. I was gonna set up everything a little bit earlier today, but I got caught up with honestly just a lot of work, IRL stuff and whatnot. That's the reason why there's actually no upload today. Just super busy with some other things and whatnot, so kind of got caught up with all of that. But let me just get things out there. Let me see here. At everyone live right now with Danmemo, come hang out. There we go. Put that out there in the universe. Into the universe it goes. Stream Elements is live as well. Beautiful. You love to see it. You love to see it indeed. Actually, 1 second. Let me just do a couple of things. 1 minute. It is... There we go. Put this down all the way down. That's the... Give me just 1 second. Hello, Lion. How are you doing? Jaime Lion. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Welcome to the stream. Hello. And Luna, what's up? I've been grinding like crazy, almost 19k iris. You'll love to see it. The music will come back in just a moment, I hope at least. Give me like 1 second, getting everything sorted out and figured out as well. We need to close this. We don't need that right now. Let me tweet out that we are live. Live right now on YouTube, playing. Oh, it decided to move over to the other side. 1 second. Let me see. On YouTube, playing Danmemo. Come hang out. There we go. And do this. And do a little bit of this. I'll check the messages in just 1 second. Noctis, hello. Hello. Let me get my whatever is in the present box. It should be something familiar related, I assume. Yeah, one potato snack. I'll take that. We will take those. We will indeed take those. I think what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna farm iris primarily, but I want to see how much is left in the exchange shop here. Okay, it's only just the CP items and potato snacks. Yeah, that's yeah. Like I said, it's not gonna be really an issue, to be honest. I was a bit worried that it would be an issue, but yeah. There we go. The music's back as well. All right. Let me close this now. We don't need this anymore. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. How is everybody doing though? Hopefully everybody is doing well. But yeah, today we're gonna be just farming primarily. I'm gonna be chatting. If you guys have any questions about Danmemo or Danmachi Battle Chronicle, it's just a free-form stream, to be quite honest. There's nothing really dedicated this week to do, to be quite honest. Of course, I know Familiar War Games is live, but it's prep phase right now and everybody's just preparing. Right now, we're going to go up against the rank 17 Familia, which will probably lose some badges here. We'll probably drop down to like 4 or 5 most likely, but we'll see. But yeah, Familiar War Games is still ongoing. We'll probably get a top 10 finish at the very least, I'd assume, considering the state of the game right now with the players and everything. But yeah, it's just a free-form chatting stream kind of, but we'll probably do a lot of my farming and stuff as well at the same time, because we're only at 9,400 iris, and with the banner coming out next week with Fina and Crozo, and of course the anniversary banners coming up in 2 weeks time, the part 3 anniversary banners, I want to try and get my iris count up as much as possible. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly just do this, use my 5 daily skip tickets on this as well. There we go. Beautiful. And here we go. I read that it's more important to go for limit breaks. Do you think it's worth to pull for banners to just have a copy of the character? If it's a new character for you that you've never had before, like specifically the unit itself is a character you've never had. Say for example, Argonaut or Fina or Crozo. especially if you're a new player, you don't have those most likely. Getting them, at least one copy of them, is smart. And that's why I always say, like, for example, the upcoming Fina and Crozo banner, I would probably say that all new players should definitely do one multi on it, because what you can do is you can use it to level up CP levels basically, and this is something that will gain you a lot of iris, like a butt ton of iris immediately. Like for example, currently I'm at, like, for example, 9,421 iris, right? Just to give you an idea, right? And I've already leveled up a lot of this, right? I've leveled up a lot, so I've gotten a bunch of iris. But let's say I want to, for example, give no, I don't want to waste my cakes. I don't have that many cakes. Ahmed, what do you use? Okay, perfect. Hello Manu, how are you doing? I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well. But yeah, let's say I get Ahmed up to, I saw Yukina's name and I called her Yukina nearly. You get 10 iris at CP level 26, 10 more iris at CP level 28, and of course that's 41. Then you get missions as well. You get missions as well to level up your CP to level 25. So it's well worth it to do it potentially, because you might not have that character. Yeah, if you have the 3-star variants of those characters, of course you can kind of skip it. But like stuff like Argonaut, Crozo, Fina, Ariadne, these are characters people don't have because they come back only during the anniversary and stuff. So it's not bad idea to do at least one multi on them, to be quite honest, because then you get some form of iris and you can add it up over time as well, right? So it's very much, it's like you're summoning to get back more iris. So you put in like 400 iris to do one multi, and then you might get back like 600, 800 iris, provided you have the CP items and everything. And of course, you can also farm CP through this stage. Of course, if you've gotten to this point, right, you can obviously farm this stage again and again. That's what we will be doing today, of course, right, is we will be repeating this stage to get more and more iris. And furthermore, if you pull a character as well, you can use them to get outfit levels as well, which will give you more iris as well. So again, everything is a form of effectively, like, if you summon, you're technically getting a lot of iris back as well. So doing one multi on a banner will actually net you back most likely at least like 600, 800 iris minimum, I would say. Obviously depending on what you get and everything. Like say for example, you do one multi, get both Fina and Crozo, for example, in the upcoming week's banner, right? That's a lot of iris. That's a huge amount of iris. So it's not a bad idea to do at least one multi, because you're guaranteed a 4-star on the first step, right? It's all of these banners. Like, ignore the paid banners. We'll ignore the paid banners. But this banner, for example, first step guaranteed. So doing a first multi is always fine. Going more than that, it's obviously dependent on how much iris you have and all of that sort. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you're not going to go for the limit breaks, right? That's the main thing I would say. So first multi, I always say, is like well worth it, especially if you don't have the character. What's up, Ultramarin? I am doing well. My day's been okay so far. It's a bit stressful today. Again, based yesterday's video, if you guys haven't seen it already, I did a bit of a channel update talking about, like, you know, everything that's happening in my life and everything. Yeah, I'll put up the chat in a moment. I've just been trying to figure out everything, but yeah. And of course, I've been looking for a place to rent, and today we went to see. The place was shut, but we then decided to go somewhere else, and apparently they only have one place for like 5 people, which we don't have 5 people, so we're trying to figure it out and everything, and it's a bit stressful, but let's see. Let us see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well, but yeah, it's a bit stressful. It's a bit stressful, but otherwise it's been good. Otherwise it has been good, in all honesty. Let me just check. Did I get everything from the Saros and Dulb exchange? Yes, I did. Okay, good. I've gotten everything. I can buy more of these, but I'm a little bit low on Saros. I'm gonna probably wait until the Part 3 banners come and then use the Saros I get into basically buying the CP items and stuff to get more iris. Let me do my dailies on as well here. What's up, Apollina? How are you doing? Get that Brave Stone already. Yeah, I will definitely get my Brave Stone. Sure. All right. Thanks for farming up my account. Yeah, definitely. Don't worry. Don't worry. Give me that $100 donation, Lanzo. I'll give you your account back then. Otherwise, it's going on the market. It's going straight on the market. Random comment, fighting games are hard. I think when I was younger, fighting games weren't that hard. But nowadays, I feel like my hand-eye coordination is just gone. I don't know what it is. I simply cannot do anything with fighting games. I'm horrendous with it. I'm really bad on it. I'm really, really bad on it. But yeah. Alright, let's keep going up now on this. I am using Firelafia, Hero Festa, Alize, and Vesta, so I need new Fianna. Yes, Fina. Yes, you will need the new Fina. The new Fina is very much recommended for everybody running a magic team, to be quite honest. Be it you're running Hero Festa Elise or not, you're running a magic team, you need Fina. Fina is insane. She is really, really ridiculous. Honestly, she's probably one of the best characters we've gotten during this anniversary, and she's technically not even an anniversary unit. I know they technically have the anniversary logo and they're calling it as part of the anniversary. It's not really an anniversary unit, let's be real, because if you go over here, right? I want to see. Okay, they don't have the logo here, but for some reason they had the logo on something else. Technically, it's not part of the anniversary though. Alright, Lanzo, thank you so much for stopping by and obviously telling people to remember to like the stream. Of course, it would be truly appreciated. And yeah, you have a good night, man. You have a good night. Gogeta and Vegeto's easy are obliterating everything and everyone. Yeah, I know. Dokkan's enjoying those 5-year easies. The only thing I regret is obviously not being around to be able to experience some of the easies that I wanted to experience. Stuff like Tech Gohan's easy whenever that comes out. The 5-year easies and stuff like that. It would have been nice, but I'm glad I am avoiding it. Hit Ariadne was kind of hoping for Argonaut. I mean, yeah, that happens, to be honest. You go for one character and you don't end up getting that character. Like me, for example, I was hoping I'd get more Ariadnes, ended up getting +2 of both, to be quite honest. Yo, what's up, Wyatt? How are you doing? And Mac Diesel, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. If I get her +2 or +3, will I be good? +3 will be fine. +2 is a little bit dicey. You have to remember her endurance is a little low. And of course, if you have her +3, then it's a little bit easier to potentially get her going in terms of the +3 to +5 with star bonds, right? Argonaut would have been neat, yeah. Do you usually respond to Discord DMs? If I don't know the person that well, outside of like one reply, I don't personally, because I just have too much on my plate and I really don't have time to respond to everybody. So I don't try and, you know, incentivize me talking to people regularly, to be quite honest. If you drop a message, you know, you say, can I get some help once in like 3-4 weeks or something like that, maybe I'll respond. But I don't try and actively respond to those who I don't really know that well, purely because I don't have time to respond to everybody, because I don't want to kind of endorse that, especially if, let's say, Battle Chronicle comes out and there's a lot of people, and I feel like in that regards it just doesn't make sense, to be quite honest. It just doesn't make sense for me to do that. Do a drinking game soon, bro. I've done many a drinking game on stream before. I actually don't know what it is on YouTube in terms of TOS, to be quite honest, because in the past, on Twitch at least, I used to do a lot of drinking games. I would, well, not necessarily drinking games. It would be something like if I lose a fight or if I do something, I take a shot or something. And one time it got pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know how it is on YouTube. So I try and keep it at a minimum. I don't even have alcohol on me right now. But yeah, Discord DMs, I try and keep it on a minimum so that people don't necessarily, you know, just keep hounding me, because I actually don't have the time personally. +3, +5, +3, +5 part 2, not bad, not bad. I mean, there is, funnily enough, there is actually vodka in my kitchen, but I am not going to go and pick it up. I'm good. I am very, very good. Not right now. I have to get up early in the morning tomorrow, so no, I cannot do anything stupid tonight. I got work to do. I have work to do, places to be. Alright. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Let me just check. Investing to get more. Yup. Also, by the way, I know a lot of people don't do this. By the way, make sure you do your training war games at least 5 passes a day, because that will give you 10 iris as well, which will allow you to save up for the upcoming banners as well. So make sure you guys do your 10 runs a day, or 5 runs a day, sorry, not 10 runs. You don't need to do 10 runs, but yeah. I just do them because it just stacks up and I'm like, okay, may as well use it if possible. May as well use it if possible. Alright. We will go first. Yep, there we go. Very nice. Very, very cool. Very, very nice. But yeah, I'm actually also kind of waiting on I'm waiting on the investor reports from K-Lab and stuff tomorrow, because I want to make a video on that as well. depending on what they announce. I want to see if there's any new pieces of information for us to gather from. I took a look at Aiming Inc.'s investor relations report, and there wasn't any new information for Danmachi Battle Chronicle. I'm kind of waiting on K-Labs tomorrow, and I'm also waiting on NeoWiz's, because NeoWiz, of course, the new developers for the upcoming the other Danmachi game, not Battle Chronicle. They also will be dropping something this month. This is the month where a lot of companies will be dropping information about how they're doing financially. Oh, we're up in the green, or no, we're down in the red. We need to do something to fix our company or something. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that and everything as well. Do you think there will be a Hero Festa in part 3 of the anniversary, and how much Iris do you recommend? I don't have a Hero Festa because I started playing after the Sword of Hesitation banner. Sword of Hesitation was SO10. Okay. I think there is a very good chance we will be getting a Hero Festa in part 3 now. It's been far too long since a Hero Festa. It's been the longest since we haven't had a Hero Festa, because it went from like mid-December to end January, and then from end January to the start of April basically, or end March, we got the next Hero Festa banner, right? So this has definitely been the longest we haven't had a Hero Festa. Although it was to be expected, to be quite honest. I kind of was expecting the Hero Festa to not come until part 3 of the anniversary. A lot of people were like, no, they're gonna want money and stuff, but no, they didn't want money, clearly. They were just waiting on it. I think there is a very good chance it's gonna be a Hero Festa in part 3. That being said, though, I think it's also a very good chance that it's a double Hero Festa banner. It's 2 Hero Festa banners. If that is the case, we will need 12.8k Iris, so 12,800 Iris. If it's only 1 Hero Festa banner, 6,400 Iris. Now, obviously, there's a couple of ways they can do it, right? I think there's 2 ways they can do it. One being the double Hero Festa banner, therefore 12,800 Iris. The second way I think is also possible is that they drop 2 normal banners first, 8,000 Iris, and then maybe sometime into part 3, maybe like 2 weeks after part 3 begins or a week after part 3 begins, we get the Hero Festa banner, which means another 6,400 Iris. So in total, we'll probably need 15,000 Iris is my estimate. Now, I could be wrong and they decide that, oh, you only need 1 Hero Festa banner and that's it. That's all we want from you guys. Then maybe it's only 6,400 Iris. It's very, very easy then. But we'll have to wait and see. I checked my theory with Memoria's giving additional damage boost and it didn't work out. Sadly, that's an F. I was gonna actually make that as a video as well. And yeah, it's unfortunate because that would have been cool. That would have been cool, maybe something new, but I assume people would have realized that way ages ago. People would have probably realized that ages ago. I do training war games a lot, so I get bonus points so I can get lazy on war games next time. Well, that's also a fair shout. Getting up to king into training war games and therefore being able to get bonus points is a fantastic idea, in all honesty. I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's something that people probably should consider doing, to be quite honest. Alright, do you know if we'll be able to use Don Crow account on PC and mobile? No, we don't know any details yet. I actually did ask a couple of questions in regards to that, actually. You know, I tweeted out at them under one of their reply tweets. I said that, you know, can we get some more information on like whether it's going to be one server, is it going to be able to be run on multiple the same account and stuff. They haven't responded at all, which is not a surprise. I am literally some random American dude, to be quite honest. Well, I'm not American, but like I'm some Westerner for them basically. I'm not American. I am nowhere near American, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But they haven't said anything, so yeah, I think it should be able to be done. I would be surprised if you can't use the same Danko account for both PC and mobile. It would be a big surprise to me, especially in 2023, in the grand old year of 2023, not allowing cross saves would be kind of surprising. It would be very much so surprising. I think one thing that they will probably do as well, potentially, right, is they'll make that clear and abundantly clear before the game launches, hopefully at least. I'm more so hoping on the servers being the same. That's the main thing I'm hoping for, is that the servers need to be standardized. They need to be the same servers for everybody. I know people will be concerned about the lag, but if they follow the direction that Legends did and some other gacha games have done, we should be able to get away with the what's it called? Get away with connecting to players in our region. So yeah, will we be able to account reroll on Battle Chronicle? I think the way you'll probably reroll on Battle Chronicle is going to be the same way you normally do in most gacha games, which is uninstall and reinstall, clear the data and all that jazz. But there is an infinite reroll for the gacha itself. So you can get up to like 2 or 3 SSRs. or not accessories, URs, sorry, URs. So you can keep re-rolling the tutorial gacha and trying to get like multiple URs. That's something that I will be doing on day one as well, is like the morning of this, the morning of when we start off the stream and everything, because we will be live for the launch of the game, of course, right? I will be recording videos. I'll be, rendering them while we're playing the game and everything. And, we will be doing an infinite reroll. There is an infinite reroll. You can get multiple URs as well. I would highly recommend, the best way I would do it, in all honesty, considering the way the game is designed, I would probably go for at least one adventure, one assist, and one scene card. That would be the bare minimum I would go for. And I would probably prioritize based on what I've seen, right? Based on what I've seen and what I've experienced, right? I think... and then my understanding of the game, of course, things might have changed. Of course, things might have changed in terms of the design and outlook of the game. I would probably say a DPS unit is a must, in all honesty. I think DPS and tanks are insanely valuable. Supports, I'm still a little bit iffy on, especially healer supports. I didn't feel Cassandra was doing much in the beta test, to be quite honest. I really didn't find her that usable, to be quite honest. And purely it was, I think, down to as well, the range factor didn't really help too much, right? But I would highly recommend going for somebody like a Bell, a Ryu, a Tione, something like that. A DPS or tank would probably be the best. And you can figure out what it is by the icon. So it'll give you the element, right? There will be an icon that will give you the element. So it'll be red, blue, green, yellow, purple. And within the icon, there will be a symbol. So the sword and a club is a DPS unit. A shield is a tank. And then the support is, I think, like a boot or something. I think it's something like that. And then assist is very straightforward, because the assists are primarily the gods and stuff. So you got your Takemikazuchis, your Hestias, your Miak, your gods and goddesses, right? So going for those two and a scene card would probably be the best, because that'll help you carry in the game for a little bit. We are also getting 3,000 Iris as pre-registration rewards at the very least. I know that we've technically only confirmed 2,000, but pre-registration rewards are kind of a joke in a way, kind of, to be quite honest. They're a marketing tactic more so than anything else. We will get to the 750k mark, no doubt about it, unless they want to be very stingy and we've actually got like an actual 500,000 amount, pre-registered users, which I doubt entirely. I have 14,400 Iris right now. How much Iris do you think I can spend before part 3 to have enough for... Are you a new player? Depends on what type of player you are. Are you a new player, older player? What's it looking like? What are your character, what are your CP levels looking like and stuff like that? And how much story do you have left? Because I think you should be fine, because if, say, you spend 4,000 Iris on the Fina and Krozo banner, for example, right? It'll be a problem. Yeah, the range unit is a DPS symbol as well. You'll have to kind of figure out if it's Lafia, you know it's a ranged unit. If it's Ryu, I know it's a little bit more complicated, but you want to go for Ryu because she's actually a close range unit, funnily enough, based on the footage we have. Do you think the game will be free to play friendly? It's a bit tricky to say right now, to be quite honest, because I don't know how they're gonna behave. In terms of being a gacha game, to be quite honest, I don't know how they'll behave. I know for sure it's not going to be as free to play friendly as Danmemo though. I should clarify this. I don't think it's going to be as free to play friendly as Danmemo. Danmemo is one of a kind in terms of how free to play friendly it is, to be quite honest. Sorry, not Genshin. I was gonna say Genshin. Danmachi Battle Chronicle is a bit more trickier because the pity system is quite daunting, but at the same time, it seemed like the dupe levels didn't matter that much. So all you needed was like one copy of a character and you could get away with it, right? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Started after the sun, I don't have a lot of good units. It'll be tricky because the way you're saying it, of course, is like Part 3 plus Hero Festa is let's say you'll need like 16,800 Iris, right? Let's say, for example, I'm gonna say 16,800 Iris. Since you've just started after Sword of Hesitation, you should be able to get that Iris back very, very easily through story and stuff. I think the only issue is I don't think you can do like more than like 2 banners at most. I would say 8,000 Iris is the most you can give away, but more than that, I don't know, to be quite honest. I don't think I would, because yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a couple of banners at least in part 3. Riveria, do you think is gonna be I think Riveria will be range. I think who else can be range? If they drop like Elfie, for example, Elfie can be range. Haruhime might be range. Who else can be range? Technically, Lily, if she's given a unit, will be range as well, technically. So yeah, I'm worried about the endgame content for Battle Chronicle. I mean, I think the endgame is pretty much going to be the PvP and the Battle Royale, to be quite honest. The Auto Battle PvP and the Battle Royale. In terms of events, we'll have to see. We have raids, of course, as well. I think I'm not too worried about the endgame right now, to be quite honest. I think for the first year, it'll be fine because we'll have a lot of things to do. We'll have the familiar raids, we will have the PvP, we'll have the Battle Royale. Whatever they do with events, I don't know, but hopefully the events are good. So I think for now, it's fine. Of course, they will have to develop and evolve the content so that people are, retained. But I feel that that's going to be difficult anyways. I feel like that's going to be difficult anyways because gacha games in general aren't really that too crazy, to be quite honest. Returning player here, I spent all 20k Iris on Sixtani. I wouldn't have necessarily spent all of it in one shot because of course part 3 is still coming out, to be quite honest. So that's the reason why I would have been like a bit more patient, to be quite honest, because yeah, that 20k is a little bit extra. How much Iris are you on right now? Did you spend everything? Are you at like 0 right now? Because I get it for the 4-star double raid, it makes sense as well, to be honest, but I wouldn't have probably gone beyond like 8k. If endgame is PvP, wouldn't that push free-to-play players away from the game? I think it depends, to be quite honest, on how bad the PvP is. Because if you see games like, for example, if you look at games like Danmemo, if you look at games like Bleach Brave Souls, if you look at games like Legends, 7 Deadly Sins, Grand Cross to an extent, and stuff like that, they have been able to use PvP and still be fine. It may push some free-to-play players away, but at the end of the day, if you can play smart, and I think as long as the rewards aren't too crazy at the higher levels, like if there's not a discrepancy, like for example in Danmemo, right? For example, right? Of course, we have lesser players in our server, so it makes a little bit less sense, right? But if you go to Record Buster, right, we have different servers, so it's much more easier for us to get the rewards. But even if we were on, let's say, JP, right now my score on JP would probably get me like top 5,000 most likely, maybe a little bit higher, but like I'm able to still get a decent amount of Iris. I'm still able to get about 500-550 Iris per week, for example, right? As long as the discrepancy isn't massive between the top ranks and the middle ranks, and you're still getting a good amount of rewards for being in the middle. That's why 7 Deadly Sins, Grand Cross, Legends, and all of these games still do well and retaining their free-to-play players because, well, one, of course, they have the franchise on their side, but two, as well, they are able to retain players because their rewards are decent enough to keep players playing the game so that, they don't, drop away because, oh, what's the point in playing PvP if I'm gonna get my ass beat left, right, and center? There needs to be a balance of two things primarily, and this is effectively the TLDR for that question. One, you need to make sure that you are not making a big discrepancy in the rewards, and two, players who are free to play have a chance at getting higher. They can't, maybe they don't breach the top ranks, maybe they don't breach the top 3 ranks, but are they able to breach maybe, like, say for example, the 4th, 5th, and 6th ranks? Is that possible? And if that is possible, free-to-play players don't have much to complain about because at the end of the day, whales are, investing in the game more than we are, and it makes sense that they'll have an advantage. I mean, that's the age-old gacha life. I mean, there's not much we can do about that, right? They'll always have the upper hand because they are spending money versus non-spending players. But are we able to get to a certain point at least? Are we able to make that point? And is the rewards not that different? And are we able to get there on strategy alone as well? Because then people can't complain, because at that point you are not taking advantage of the game systems in order to get higher. Now, of course, it is a mobile game, so also there should be a room for casuals, but that should be expected that, players who bro, you are away. God damn it. What's up, Master Sama? But effectively, you know, there needs to be that hierarchy. There is always going to be that hierarchy of, you've got the whales, you've got the experienced players, then you have the casuals. That's always going to be the case, where over here you've got top to bottom, you've got this ranking system. That's not going to change. That is not going to change. Oh my gosh, Gail, you reminded me to do my daily grinding. No worries. I got you there. I got you. I think the penalty thing is going to push people away. I think that's more of a concern than anything else. The fact that there is a potential penalty system. Now, I don't know how it's going to be in the game, but yeah. I hope you can do content with units that aren't UR. SR no, SSR yes. I can confirm that already. I mean, you can check on my content from the closed beta test. I was actually literally using an SSR. Now, obviously, it was down to the fact that we didn't have that many UR options. We only had 4 UR characters in the CBT, 2 adventures, 2 assists. But honestly, like, for example, the SSR Gareth was way better than the Cassandra I was using, to be quite honest. I was ending up using, like, UR Bell, SSR Gareth, and SSR Bet instead of Cassandra, because Cassandra was dead useless, to be quite honest. She was annoying as hell. So for me, it was always... so you can use it. I wouldn't necessarily say that long term it's gonna happen, to be quite honest. I don't think that's gonna be the case. There are very few games that actually do something like that, with where you can do content with units that aren't... We should be back. Hello? 1 second, let me click refresh. Had a blip. I should be back. Hello? Okay, good. I think we're back. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of an issue there. So sorry about that. Super sorry about that. Don't know what happened there. It just... my PC just froze for a split second, but it immediately came back alive. So I think we're good. I saw the question, by the way, as well. 1 second, let me go back in time. I saw Master Sama's question. Any idea for the characters who are for the next 6th anniversary? We know that Belle, Lily, and Finn are yet to get characters. Not Lily. Lifia, sorry. Belle, Lifia, and Finn are yet to get characters. So they should be the next in line, to be quite honest. For characters, we don't know how they'll appear as Hero Festas, normal units. We don't know yet. But those 3 will be next. If whales didn't have an advantage, they wouldn't whale. If they don't whale, there is no game. True, exactly. Very true. Thank you so much for that, those kind words, Gustavo. Appreciate it big time. I appreciate it big time. Revis villain characters are also possible as well. We could get Ennio, Ain, and Revis as well. It's very possible that we get those as well. But we'll have to wait and see on that front. I'm not exactly sure on what we will get and what we won't get, to be quite honest, because this has been a very weird anniversary, to be quite honest. This is the first time in a long time we've actually had 2 units per banner instead of the usual 3. Like, it's not been this way since the 2nd anniversary. The 2nd anniversary was the last time we actually had like 2 unit banners. So this is completely different compared to normal. But yeah, am I free to play? Yes, I am free to play in the game. Well, technically people wouldn't classify me as free to play because I used to spend on the game ages ago, considering I have paid 4 paid iris still. But yes, I am still in a bit of a pick. I'm now free to play technically, but I used to be a spending player way back when in 2018. Damn, it's so long ago. But yeah, this was ages ago. And I plan on being free to play in this. I am gonna be free to play in Battle Chronicle. From what I got your videos, is that farming will be it'll be slow, especially for level up and ascension. We don't know yet because I feel like we didn't have access to the higher stages for like XP farming and stuff. I think this closed beta test purposefully limited us because then we wouldn't be too strong, especially against the Minotaur fight and stuff. So I think that they're going to be a little bit more. I think they're going to be a little bit more freer when we get the game. I started playing the game just sub because I started playing the game. Thank you so much for the sub. Do I have an up-to-date game guide? I don't necessarily have an updated game guide. I of course still have the beginner's guide, which kind of covers a majority of stuff, but I would highly recommend checking out my Danmachi Memoria Freese guide playlist, sorry, because that just pretty much covers a majority of the stuff that is necessary for you to know. Stuff like outfit farming, CP levels, war games, record buster, terminology, stuff like that. And if you have any questions, you can always come on the stream and in a future stream or in a video and ask questions, because I will probably respond to those comments no matter what. What Memoria do I use for the light team? So I use the Memoria that gives SCR from turns 1 to 7, 6%. and STR turns 8 to 15, 7% as well. Again, I'll show you. It'll be much easier if I show you actually. And then I use the light damage one from 6 to 10 basically. So 1 second, I'll show you the memorias here in a moment. So if we go over here and we move over here, and yeah, these are the memorias I use. So Rival, Love Triangles, and Moondrop a Miracle. These are the memorias I use primarily for my light team. But yeah, always recommend leveling up the STR and Magic Memorias at the very least, because they're the most universal memorias that you can get. STR SA personally, STR SA is also a fair shout. I haven't leveled mine up yet. I am probably gonna level it up. I was waiting to see what this one would be. It's not that good, so we're ignoring it, and I'm probably gonna level up this one. This one is also a fair shout. You can probably level this one up, and I probably will, because honestly, we'll see what Memoria comes out next month, because yeah, this month's Memoria is kind of butt cheeks, to be quite honest. It is kind of butt cheeks, so I may as well level it up, and I can probably use it to good use potentially when the time comes, of course. So yeah, all right, let's keep going and farming. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking out the guides and playlists as well. But yeah, I misread SAS turns 1 to 6. I thought that as well. I initially thought, when I first saw the thing way back when, I was like, turns 1 to 6? What? And then I realized, wait a second, it's only turn 6. Oh, okay, sure. But it does come in handy, especially in familiar Russian stuff. It is a useful situation. Will do, thanks. I heard power creep is really bad. Dupes are required and rates are horrendous, which to be fair is offset by guaranteed stuff. I was wondering how true it is. It is fairly true. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna sit here and deny it, to be quite honest, because it is absolutely it is true to an extent, to be quite honest. I would say power creep is, I would say in terms of assists, it's not as bad. In terms of adventures, it can get pretty bad. Recently, it's not been that bad, but that's because it's been offset by the release of the Hero Festas, who are still the most dominant characters in the game. Like, I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't necessarily say that the 6th anniversary units, outside of maybe like, in terms of the adventure side, outside of maybe Argonaut and maybe Bet and Mia, none of them have been really like overly impactful, and even they are probably like replaceable units, to be quite honest. And it's quite, yeah, it's quite vertical, because what happens is, right, what Amphi is saying here, by what he means by vertical, is that you can replace units very easily. You don't have to summon on like magic units. You can skip the magic banners and then summon on the physical units only, and therefore you're building that physical team up, right, is what he's basically saying here in terms of it being more vertical effectively. So what happens is that you're able to easily replace it. It's kind of like, for example, on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle or Dragon Ball Legends, you have like, for example, a team full of Frieza and Coolers, because you're trying to run a team of those characters because they work well together. You're not gonna go and summon on like a Goku or a Vegeta to put into that team, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for you. So instead, what you do is you summon on, whenever we get a Cooler or Frieza, you summon on those. Now that can have its drawbacks and positives, because sometimes you might be the best team in the game, and then sometimes you might be the 3rd best team in the game. So you kind of have to basically summon smart, is what it is. And that's any gacha game. If you're a free-to-play player, you have to be smart in order to play the game correctly. But in terms of dupes are required, yes, that is true. Dupes are very much required. You need to get a unit to up. And in terms of adventures, you want to get +3, +4 at the very least. In terms of assists, I would say you have to it's two things. You stick at +0 or you go to +5, because the in between is 50-50, to be quite honest. It is very 50-50 in that point. Okay, so what battle am I doing right now? I just see my troops getting KO'd. Well, this battle is effectively a sort of battle where we farm Iris effectively, even though my units die. So effectively what happens is the boss kills me, but it still counts as a stage clear. As you can see right here, I still get, you know, an S rank at the very top, as you can see there. And what happens is my CP level goes up. It's going up by a small amount, 5 points, but it goes up a little bit, which is really, really useful. And what also happens is, right, is I can also outfit level as well right here. So if you go over here, right, if I go to outfit refinement, you can see I'm gaining small amounts of iris consistently for just using my units that I have right now. So you kind of want to do it just so that you can get some iris, and effectively it's a method of farming. Effectively it's a method of farming. Cooler, Freeze, no brother. Bro, that video last year was hilarious, bro. I wonder what they'll do this year for Dokkan. I'm gonna be very interested to see what they do, in all honesty. I can't wait to see what Twitter shows. Wait, was I on normal? Oh, that's why I was wondering why am I not dying? I might have misclicked. Whoops, my bad. I thought I was wondering, like, why was I not dying? Because usually I die. That's my bad. Whoops. I didn't realize I was on normal. I didn't realize on normal. Thank you for telling me, though. I didn't realize. I just wasn't paying attention. I simply wasn't paying attention. But there you go. Now we get the KOs. Okay, good. Alright, beautiful. The turn 1 kills. So many new features I haven't even realized. Yeah, they've just added new stages, new methods of farming and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't realize it defaulted to normal. I just wasn't paying attention to that. That is my bad. It's on me. Ever since Fina was announced, I've been abusing this stage. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm probably gonna adjust my team up a little bit just so that I can work on some CP levels as well. So let me just quickly check. What are my lowest CP levels on this lady? And let me make a note of it, actually, if I can. I might go back to Dokkan. I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't personally do that. I quit Dokkan in December. The QOL is good, but honestly, the game is still the same old. They haven't done much to keep things interesting, in my personal opinion, at least. So I don't play the game anymore. So Kotori, Noble Fencer, Shizu, Mino, Erin, Cowgirl, Natsumi, Kino, Aldo. Okay. Alright, okay. Yeah, it is one of the craziest ways of farming Iris. You don't think about it necessarily, but it is actually insane how funny this is. Yeah, there's multiple stages. It's not only this stage, there are other stages as well. There's various options for you to do. So let's put Kotori in. I'll put Kotori in twice over. I'll put the assist Kotori in. This is a question even I don't know, actually, funnily enough. Somebody can let me know. If you put 2 of the same character in, does it give you double the CP level or no? I haven't checked. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. So somebody can let me know if that is true or false. Will I be summoning on the upcoming banner? Probably only doing 1 multi, and this is probably what I'm going to recommend to a lot of people, unless you're a magic user. If you are a magic user, 100% go all in. If you aren't a magic user, do 1 multi and then save up for later, potentially. Pretty sure no. Okay, I just wanted to double check, because even I wasn't sure if that was the case or not, because I don't remember. Because if that is the case, we will ignore it entirely. Where is Natsumi now? Natsumi is an assist, so we'll bring in Natsumi. Who do I put in now? I'm trying to think. Who do I put in now that I haven't leveled up? I think Yoshino and Kino will put in. In your YouTube videos, how does your team output 200k plus consistent damage? I'm switching from heal assist and weapons to crit base. Is that the right approach? That is one of the right approaches to do. Yes, that will help you a little bit, of course, for sure. The reason why my damage is so high is synergy. It's all about synergy, because every unit kind of helps each other massively. So you have, like, for example, here, Finn is able to give a minus 40% light res and damage received by AoE and single target attacks plus 30%. 1 second, let me close the chat bot right now so that you guys can see it here. He's able to also give himself S tier and light attack damage. Fiona is a little less more for that, but she's able to support the team by giving SA gate charge and also extending the stuff as well, which helps massively as well. And then you have, of course, gotten Bell as well, who's able to just output a lot of damage because he's got the minus 40% P-res and also good amounts of damage being added on through his buffs as well. One of the things as well you have to remember is that their modifiers are much higher. I don't know when you played last, Gustavo, because I know you said you were a returning player, but you have to remember that a lot of the units have just been power crept massively. So units like this Bell, units like the Finn, units like this Haruhime are effectively much stronger. Like this Haruhime, in a way, is effectively a straight upgrade from the 4th anniversary Haruhime, who was a straight upgrade of the Fire Haruhime from ages ago, right? So effectively, if we go to Haruhimes, right, if we go here, right, this Haruhime was an upgrade of this Haruhime basically, and then that Haruhime was an upgrade of this Haruhime basically. So yeah, Is it worth doing only a CP for CP and no outfit refinement if you have max level outfit refinement for the character? If you have I was about to say, if you've max outfit reformed every single character on the CP, so for example, you've max outfit farmed Lapias, for example, all Lapias for you are maxed out, then maybe sure, but like, you're probably better off doing it for other characters and trying to put them into the team in some way, shape, or form. Okay, let me put these characters as well. Why are your unused characters all level 50? Is there a reason you leveled them that much? So if you go over here, right, go to the guild, every day you get 10 iris as well for, you know, leveling up a character first and foremost. But second of all, if you level up a character and you go all the way here, right, if you go scroll all the way down, wait, is it not showing here? 1 second, maybe I skipped past it. 1 second, I think I skipped past it. 1 second. Yeah, there you go. So if you go here, right, you can see you get 10 iris for upgrading to level 60, ranking up to 6-star, and ranking up to the 5-star. Yeah, I kind of missed it. I thought it was a bit lower than that. But you get basically levels for limit breaking characters and upgrading your character. So you want to actively level up your characters when and if possible, because you just get iris for it. So well worth it. Quite well worth it, to be quite honest. So you want to do it. You definitely want to do it if possible. Because it just gives you more iris, basically. It gives you more iris, and it's yeah, useful. It is very much useful. Let's put Natsumi in. I see her right there. And then go down here. And it applies to every character, so you kind of want to do it no matter what. Let me check again, 1 second. Who's the lowest CP right now? Let me go to character list right now. I wonder how long it'll take for you to claim those. Probably quite a while. Probably quite a while. Let's see. Is there anybody? Armin, I can put in Kaguya. I can put in Fane. I can put in Toka. I think Toka is assist I have not used. And I can put in Nagisa. Yeah, I'll put in Nagisa as well. Okay. We've got a couple of units to put in. And actually, one thing I'm gonna do here is probably remove the... No, I'm gonna keep that Kotori because I think I'm not outfit refined her. Eren, I have an outfit refined, so I'm gonna put Eren back in. And then I'm gonna put... okay, so who was it? It was... 1 second, let's scroll all the way down. Nagisa. Nagisa goes in, then we can put in... who else was it? Toka. Yeah, there was a Strike the Blood collab. I think that was... No, that was our third to last collaboration, because we had another Data Life collaboration, and then we had Executioner and Her Way of Life. But yes, we had a Strike the Blood collaboration ages and ages ago. You can go in. We can put Cowgirl in as well. There we go. Cowgirl can go in. And we can... It was Strike the Blood 4 specifically, yes. Strike the Blood 4. Well, it's a paying thing. It's more so geared towards whales, more so than anything else, and paying players. But you can get the first month free, which I would only recommend to get at the end of the month, because that way you're completing your monthlies. Otherwise, it's good for every player, to be quite honest. In all honesty, if you're a spending player, it's very, very good and very useful, to be honest. Because you're gonna get use out of it. 25th of the month. There you go. It is quite handy to have. What do I put in here? I think Marie can go in, because I don't think I've leveled up Marie. No, actually, I think I have leveled up Marie. Who's the character I haven't leveled up at all? Let's chuck in. I feel like I've leveled up all these characters in some way, shape, or form. I was gonna say maybe Misha, but I'm not sure. Kifana, I know I've leveled up. Armin. We can put Armin. There we go. Honestly, yeah, if we could sort by outfit level, oh, it would be amazing. Outfit level or CP level as well. I wouldn't mind either or. But yeah, that's not happening, unfortunately. But it's okay. How much iris am I trying to save up? I'm trying to save up to 12,000 iris, and I'm probably gonna only do 400 iris for Fina and Crozo for the time being, because you have to remember the Fina and Crozo banner will be here for another like 3 weeks at least, 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm gonna check what part 3 brings and then decide on whether or not I want to summon for Fina and Crozo more so. I think I'm gonna use the 200 plus CP items and save the 400 plus in case some new characters come. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair way of going about things. That is absolutely smart to do. That is very, very smart to do. All right, let's see. All right, there we go. Sorry, I was just looking at something. All right, let's keep going. All right. Hey Gail, on any theories on what the water team could use in a unit? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I think the water team needed a little bit more than what we got actually, to be honest. I'm kind of disappointed with the lack of water units right now because I feel like we needed a little bit more before we got into the third part of the anniversary, because I thought that they would have done what they did in last year, and they would have done not just last year, the last 4 years of doing the same element for a little bit, you know. First year fire, second year fire, third year fire technically, as well as light, fourth year water and fire, fifth year and wind technically as well, so fire, water and wind, but it was consistent there as well. And then this year it's last year it was light primarily, but we had a couple of other units here and there mixed in as well, which was nice, but primarily light, of course, right? And then this year it's just been like no consistency, absolutely zero consistency. So it's a bit hard to say right now because I think we need primarily, I would say a buff unit would be nice, like a strong, like sort of like nuker unit first and foremost, and also on top of that a support, a sort of like semi-supporting type unit as well, somebody who can play that sort of like, you know, agility control role as well at the same time, you know. So it needs a little bit, because technically we have Ahmed, right? Ahmed can play her role in the team as well potentially, right? Because right now I would say that if we are looking at water units in general right now, probably the only two options we have right now are pretty much Lost in Wonderland Eyes and Ahmed. Maybe you can chuck in Hayden in there, but Hayden is, I wouldn't necessarily say a go-to really as well. It's those two primarily if we're looking at from a PvP standpoint especially, right? PvE, you do have a little bit more options for water, I suppose, with Hayden and Riveria and stuff, but again, those are single target primarily as well, so kind of dicey there. It's a bit tricky because it's a little bit all over the place. There's a lot needed for water, unfortunately, and I think the best way they can do it probably is if the next part, if it is indeed going to be a case where the initial banners aren't Hero Festa and then we get a Hero Festa, we need a water unit or two at least in the next part, and then the Hero Festa water unit can come in and help the team out. It's going to require a little bit. I think we will need a little bit, to be quite honest. Like I said, agility control, we need agility control, we need a strong nuker type unit. I think the Hero Festa can be the nuker type unit, we can get away with that. It's just that the rest of the team needs to be built around it basically, and unfortunately, there's not many options. I mean, at this point, may as well. The final unit better be like that. There you go. A unit with 1000% plus SC damage would be insane, honestly. It's so cool. It would be so funny. I mean, I wouldn't mind a meme unit like that as long as, you know, it wouldn't be a problem for me, to be quite honest. I would be absolutely down for it. And give self-reaction to hits. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Alright, let's keep going now. Let's keep rolling. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do and which direction they go in. I'm interested. I'm wondering how players that have invested all in ailment clear PvE, sorry. They probably have still got other options as well. It's not like they only go for PvE ailment, I suppose. But even then, I probably think that they suffer a little bit. They probably get a bit of kickback from it, technically, yeah. they end up struggling a little bit to get the clears. How do I feel about the barrier mechanic? I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. It's just unfortunately that, you know, Hero Festa units kind of, you know, sort of like scurper that because everybody has barrier on Hero Festa units, whereas what it should have been on a brand new, I assumed the barrier thing was supposed to be their new mechanic for the anniversary until they decided, nah, we'll give it to the Hero Festas as well. And it ends up being on the Hero Festas primarily, but I think it's a really good mechanic. I think it's fun. It adds it again adds a bit of dimension to the game, of course, right? And whatnot. You could probably put in more challenging content because of it as well, technically, because, you know, you have more units barrier does, but yeah. No, barrier is just that. It's basically an additional shield. It basically boosts your max HP to basically beyond your max HP effectively. It is what the tin can says basically. So it's kind of nice in that regards. It adds an extra dimension, like I said. It doesn't influence the game massively by any means of the imagination, but it is a nice thing, I think. I like the barrier mechanic, quite honestly. And yeah, that's also true. So ailment units are on decent units nowadays, if you think about it, right? I mean, you look at Aphrodite and stuff like that, they are relatively decent options, but yeah. I mean, I don't know what people would have expected, to be honest. Everyone will be hyped for something new. It doesn't necessarily have to be like revolutionary, to be quite honest. I at least my personal opinion is that it doesn't have to be revolutionary. As long as it introduces something brand new, I'm all for it. Obviously there can be scalings on, like, you know, what you think about it overall in terms of like, oh, does it make a big impact? Does it not make a big impact? Oh, could it have been more like something like Reflect or Cover way back when? Or could it have been something more impactful? Maybe, right? But I think it does play a role, and it does give obviously a little bit of a difference in certain teams and compositions. I don't mind it at all, to be quite honest. I think it's nice. I think it's nice. What do you think the chances there of being the next Hero Festa assist on the next Hero Festa? 50-50 at this point. I don't know. I actually don't know. I want to say 50-50. We've known for a while that there is assets for a Hero Festa assist, in terms of like there's a hero bond that is assist focused primarily to be given to assists and whatnot, but who knows? Who really knows when they'll drop it, to be quite honest. Ailment is suffering right now. Yeah, Ailment hasn't gotten much love right now. Barrier existing is harmful for the game. The best way to fix war games was just to change the HP rule to 5,000. Did they announce the rates for Hero Festa assists? I don't think they ever did announce the rates for Hero Festa assists. They've never said the rates for Hero Festa assists. This I'm 99% sure on. They've never mentioned rates for Hero Festa assists. I don't think they've ever even mentioned Hero Festa units on like the live stream and stuff. I mean, the thing is, right, you can't go both ways, and unfortunately, if you do 5,000%, people will get annoyed because every match is going to be like 5 turns, 6 turns, even more maybe. So you end up having an issue anyways, realistically. I think barrier could have been a bit more, maybe, potentially, in terms of absorbing it, potentially, but yeah. No one reads the news pages, you think? I know for sure, I don't. Outside of the Record Buster stages, I don't go to the news pages unless necessary. Of course, when the announcement came for the no news story content and stuff, that's the last time I did it, I'm pretty sure. Yes, you want to unlock your equipment, yes. Either way, we knew that there were assists anyways. We even knew it before the news dropped for Hero Festas, technically, because of the data download, because there was obviously hero bonds for assists in the data files. Either way, we knew about Hero Festa assists being in the game in some way, shape, or form, be it in the news page or in the data download. Either way, right? The problem is they've not done anything since then, so we just don't know when they'll drop it. If they'll drop it during the anniversary, which makes the most sense because it'll change the game a little bit, especially with the way they go down with the Hero Festa assists. or they don't drop it at all and it's just there, to be quite honest. It's possible. Either way, it's possible. No, Monsterphilia does not reset. Monsterphilia has not gotten an update for like 3 years now. 2 to 3 years at least. You don't expect Monsterphilia to reset. You're just gonna have to, you're gonna finish it, get your iris and leave and never see that stage again. You do not touch that stage again. The only things that reset in terms of stages is 7 Zone, War Games, Record Buster, and stuff like that. And that's obviously on a weekly basis, effectively. And obviously War Games, Record Buster alternate on a weekly basis. With us getting a lot of new fire units, do you think the fire team is going to be better than the light team? No. No. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I think people, yes, way better, sure. Actually, one second. What context? Yeah, I was about to say PvP wise, yes, absolutely. Not necessarily PvE wise. I don't think so, no. Have I tried the Ice Pixel game? Yes, it's in the settings. If you click the gear icon, go to Ice Wars, you can. Yes, PvP wise, yes. I think PvP wise, yes, no doubt about it. I don't think that's even a question. PvE wise, not so much, no. The synergy and damage that the PvP light team does PvE wise is a bit too much, arguably. It's not close in that regards. PvP, yes, though. PvP, absolutely not even close, I don't think, even in that regards. Fire team will be better than the light team in PvP. But I assume you're talking about in PvE because, let's be real, the light team hasn't been good in PvP for a while now. The proper light team, I mean, of course. You will run a blend of like Bell and something else or whatever, and they'll do still relatively decent. But like, I mean, the pure light team, I mean, we know doesn't do well in PvP nowadays, so yes. Alright. Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna be a crazy addition. Fina's not gonna be a crazy addition. And even Argonaut, unfortunately, hasn't ended up... both Fina and Argonaut really haven't helped much PvE-wise, because Argonaut, well, a lot of his damage relies on STR and magic reductions, which doesn't really happen in PvE contents outside of 7 Zone and maybe some familiar rush stages. And Fina can be decent, but not crazy. No, it won't happen. I'm telling you, based on what Fina does, that's not gonna happen. And at the end of the day, you also have to remember, right, is, again, it comes down to that synergy fact. Inherently, a hybrid team just does not do as well as a single type team. I'm sorry, that's just how it is, because you just have way more range in terms of your assist options, because none of your units are getting cut by a lack of, you know, an assist debuff / buff, right? So that's something to note as well, is the issue. Like, a hybrid team inherently will be a little bit behind a single specific style team. It's as simple as that. That is also true, Lockhart. You're not wrong. It's actually technically a little bit longer than 6 months, because you start from the release of Argonaut, technically, because he was the start of the light team, arguably. Then you had Argonaut, then you had the anniversary units, you had Haruhime, you also had then Lazar and everybody come in the 5th anniversary, like you said. Then you obviously had this way. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Again, I don't think it's not incapable of working. I didn't say that it's... yeah, it's gonna deal 0 damage or anything. I said inherently it'll be a little bit behind purely because of the situation, in my personal opinion. Any 3 stars worth investing in? Yeah, ailment res assists primarily. The assists that are give ailment res, seal res, stuff like that, it'll come in handy for a starting player, but outside of that, probably not. Three-star Tsubaki from the event store is good to raise. I forgot what she does. Let me check. I don't know if I got her at all, to be honest. For dispatch. Ah, yes, of course, dispatch. I was like, wait, does she do something that I don't remember at all? But no, she's good for dispatch, yeah. Because for dispatch, you kind of need different units. I'm gonna do this in the morning when I wake up, because then the new missions will come in for the night board. Because I know I literally did it like a couple of hours ago. Shakti for dispatch too. Yes, Shakti as well is a good option to pick up. You could also pick up like, I mean, Mord you obviously have from the 3-star list, so that doesn't matter. He's a 3-star, of course. Goibinu as well. You want to level up as well because 3-star, he's got only 3 stars and he's useful as well. So Goibinu, Shakti, Mord, Tsubaki, like Amphi said. Who else can be good for leveling up that you might not have in the support system? You'd want 2 modes because they really like using more. True, you can get more from the event. Yeah, you can get more from the event exchange shop as well to make sure that you have multiple modes. Because yes, they really like putting mode in the dispatch quests. Amphi is not wrong there. NASA, Filvis, yeah, NASA and Filvis as well. That's true. Yeah, I think pretty much those types of characters, basically. The more unique characters is basically what you want to go for, effectively, in terms of leveling them up and everything, because they'll come in handy for dispatch and stuff. Yeah, it can be quite hard to get an MLB Filvis. It's not easy. Alright. I don't have an MLB Filvis. I do. I have Idol Filvis. I still remember that team, bro. The Idol, Lafia, and Filvis combination. Oh, goodness gracious, it was so good. So fun. Such a fun combo. Me personally? Yeah, what about you personally? Because I know you said you don't have an MLB Filvis. I know, I read that. I can read. Thankfully, my Dragon Ball fandom, my Dragon Ball fan in me can still let me read text. Thank God. Thank God. I think I might have the bonds to MLB a cute elf, but why would I? Why wouldn't you? I got lucky and have drawn 2 SO Filvis. Too bad they don't have an updated dispatch quest, and I don't think they will. No, unfortunately not. I don't think we're gonna get an update to dispatch anytime soon, considering they haven't updated it like 3 years now. The last time they updated it was for the if I recall, it was for the missions. I remember the secret, the anonymous millionaire questions, bro. I remember streaming for like 4 hours to try and figure out the hints. We managed to get like the first couple done. I say we managed to get the first couple done. We had to go on Twitter and actually look up what the Japanese players were saying and the Korean players were saying, because they managed to figure it out before us. Bro, I still remember that stream. I don't remember if anybody else who's played for a very long time remembers that stream, but I remember it was like Tech was streaming and I was streaming and I was doing the puzzle. I think he was recording the summons and stuff because the banner had just come out and everything, and he was doing that. But yeah. No, that was dispatch, because don't you remember there was like a special dispatch where we had to figure out the clues to end up choosing the right units and stuff? It was dispatch. It was connected to dispatch, Amphi. No, it was, I'm pretty sure. It may have not been in the iteration of dispatch quest, but it was something to do with it, because I remember we had to choose the right combination of units. We had to choose, like, I think it was like, at the end it was like wealth and 3 other units. I don't remember who it was, but this was like ages ago, and I remember we had to get the right units, and it was connected to the Detective 2 story, but it was again like, yes, it was connected to the event story, but the link to the dispatch quests as well were connected to that, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the case, because I remember we were trying to figure out the puzzle, and the last puzzle somehow linked to like 4 characters. It was like Wealth, Anya, and 2 others. I don't know what the other 2 were, and in the end we were just trying to randomly chuck units at it, and we didn't figure it out until they just decided to give us a hint, basically. Any chance we get collab or collab reruns? Probably not. I don't think so. It's quite unlikely. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Waiting for cute elf buff with the first Annie rerun. Oh boy, the first Annie rerun is gonna be so interesting depending on how they execute it. To be honest, I'm curious to see what they do with the Grand Day Eve and Grand Day units. To be honest, do you think Hyakintos is gay? I mean, he might be. I don't know. I mean, if he is, cool for him. I'm glad for him. I'm very, very glad for him. I wouldn't mind an MP drain mechanic, to be honest. That would be quite interesting if they do bring it back. It would be quite interesting if they do bring it back somehow, some way. Honestly, I would be kind of down for it. I would be kind of down for it. All right. It got removed because it crashed the game, if I recall correctly. I don't remember it, actually. It's been a while since that happened, but yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't remember it, actually. That I don't remember. I don't remember the MP drain situation. And that's unfortunate. They canceled the war games. I mean, to be fair, I remember them canceling a couple of war games way back in the day, bro. I remember, like, they canceled like 3 or 4 war games, like, not in succession, but quite one after the other. It was a pretty rough time because it was just the situation of like, fuck. And I remember they would have to give like double rewards the following war games or something like that. They did that a couple of times as well. I think on the first anniversary it was a lot of players with low or even at 0. Not necessarily. People knew to save for anniversary. I think if anything it probably was a little bit more difficult to save because we had just gotten the collaboration event with Kino's Journey. Then we decided to, then we had a little bit of a breather with the I think Quest event, so thankfully it will be fine. But yeah, I wonder if they're gonna be shameless enough to rerun. Nah, I don't think so. They've buffed up everybody else. I think it's time for Grand Day to get it. Nah, not double rewards. Everyone just got King 1 rewards. I'm not talking about that specifically. That one I know we got King 1 rewards. There was one war games where we did get double rewards. I remember that vividly. That one I remember quite assuredly. I remember that it was double rewards the following war games, because I remember it was like 1600 iris I got once in my gift box and I was like super happy. I was like, damn, no, not 1600 iris, it was like 1400 iris or something, 700 iris, right? So yeah. Oh, for the rerun, yeah, people will be at a very low iris amount because people will have spent on the anniversary right now. And if we go straight into the Grand Day event, yeah, people will be on low iris. Thankfully, I have a lot of them at +5 already, so I'm good. I'm very, very good. New players will suffer though. New players will suffer if they want to go for the original units, the OG anniversary units. Counter, full counter. Going into the Grand Day story after this one is going to be funny. I mean, it'll be quite funny because I think it'll be interesting to see what the comparisons will be and everything. Unless they get crazy buffs, I think they'll get the same buffs that well, I mean, when I say same buffs, they'll probably buff them to the level of the, well, of course, more so for now, but like how the 3rd anniversary units were, like, some of them were good, some of them were okay buffs. It's gonna be probably like that. So I expect, like, for example, Ceremonial Flame Hestia, Null Ailment ×4, I'm expecting that. At least Null Ailment ×4, which would be kind of nice. Please do, I'm begging you. You didn't give it to Seer, but give it to this as well. Yeah, that is true. I forgot about that, actually. The Eve main characters were Dionysus and Phyllis. That is actually quite funny because it'll actually be so funny going in from that to this to that. It'll be really hilarious considering all things. Belle Lafia fighting together, Dionysus and Phyllis in the Eve event. You know, it'll be very funny, actually. It'll be very, very funny. They could add Hero Festus for all the anniversaries, yeah. But then you can look at, like, you know, how Alize, both the Alize's, the buffs that they got were decent-ish. Lyra's buffs were pretty decent as well. Riveria's buffs were solid. But of course then we had our stinkers as well. Some of the other units did get like stinky buffs, unfortunately, but like still, I think it'll be more or less, give or take, around that level of where they'll boost them to a level where it's solid units. probably not must summons, but solid units to the point where, you know, they're usable. And the thing is, right, if you are working on fire units and they do buff up Lafia and Bell really significantly, it'll be very interesting. And you have to remember that they are also in a very weird place with the first Annie units, because a lot of them don't have elements at all. And then some of them are also indexed to, like, they have like a magic attack, but they're indexed to strength effectively. It's kind of weird in that regards. Or it was like a physical attack but indexed to magic. What was Hero Bell? I forgot. It was a magic attack indexed to STR, I think, or something like that. So his magic attack scaled off his strength, which is something we've not seen in a long time. Oh, it was the other way around. Magic indexed to STR. Okay. So yeah, it's something we've not seen in at all since then. I feel like maybe we had 1 or 2 units maybe since then, but it's been rare. So, it's never happened at all. So it's kind of interesting in that regards as well. Yeah, the Annie units were also non-time limited, so you could literally just get them from summons as well. I mean, that's not really difficult to do in terms of stats. I think HP is the only issue that they'll have, because HP wise they'll suffer a little bit, but in terms of like their normal stats, they'll probably get a decent boost, probably like a 50-60% like STR magic endurance dexterity agility boost or something. I'm gonna be sad if they give them all elements, because it might make it hard to beat Vesta in part 1. What do you mean? Magic index to STR is some crazy mechanic. Yeah, it was wild. Those were wild times. I mean, if you take a look here, let's see. 1 second. Bell hero honor succession Bell. Yeah, magic attack index to STR with temporary strength boost. Yeah, if they give them like a, what is it right now? They only have STR plus 5%. How much does this guy get on his? Let's see. All status plus 30%. This is what they'll probably get. They'll get all status plus 40% or something like that. 100%. There is just no way you can let them survive like this, bro. Plus 5% STR. Thanks. Good job, game. Appreciate it. The unwinnable bosses are done by making them immune to all elements kappa, so these syllables with no elements just hit them anyways. Yeah, I get what you mean. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do with these units, in all honesty, when they do get their reruns. It'll be very, very nice to hopefully get some good you know, buffs for them, because they definitely need it, and I would like to see them at least get a decent-ish buff. Maybe not, it doesn't have to be like a crazy buff, you know, making them the best units in the game, but making them usable at least is what I hope. I'm just hoping that it's usable. That's more than anything else that I want. I remember that one Giga Chat who back in 4th Annie who beat Vesta and saved ST in part 1. Took like 5,000 turns. Oh my god. Yeah. I couldn't be bothered. I could not be bothered. But yeah, I can see that. I could see that happening. That would have been insane to see, to be honest. Insane. Because that shit just reminds me of stuff like in FGO, where basically people do some stupid shit like that effectively. We need more stuff like that, but yeah. I assume it would have taken a team of like Honor Princess, Eyes, Asfi, and maybe some others basically as well, some other non-element teams. Units. Assist-wise, they probably could have gone full STR minus P-Res or something like that and gone away with it, or also gotten for some debuffs and stuff, right? Maybe some STR magic debuffs and stuff like that, heavily dumping down their offenses, the opposing team's offense. Because I didn't see it. I don't. You'd think it used Kid Wealth, of course it did. Well, why am I not surprised? Counter, yeah, of course. What's the 4 members within 20% win condition? I assume 4 members within 20% win condition. Which stage is that again? What stage is that? I assume it must be to do with like losing less than 20% HP or something. Let me check, is it one of these older ones? Monsterphilia. Or is it in Monsterphilia? Actual Monsterphilia. Alright. Have a good one, Ultramarin. Take it easy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it. Is it this one? Complete the quest plus 20%. Oh, you mean this? So what it's saying is use 4 members only and you get 20% extra score bonus, basically, is what it is. Which stage was it on? Is it on this one? Nope. Yeah, within 4 members plus 20% basically means you'll get 20% extra score if you cleared with only 4 members. So you just have to use 4 members to effectively get that bonus score effectively, is what it is. Okay. I was like, I feel like I've never seen that, but it's been a while, so of course I've never seen it. It's been like 5 years since I've seen it, basically. Maybe a little less, but yeah. So you need to use 4 members, basically. 4 members only, and you will be able to get that extra 20% bonus score, basically, is what you need to do. Alright, let's play again. Monsterphilia exists these days as a cheater detection. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Just in case there's a cheater, you get to know immediately. Yeah, there's just not many options, unfortunately. They've not updated it, unfortunately. It's very, very sad to see that they haven't updated it, but yeah. I hope that they... I mean, I would have preferred if they updated it in the future, but yeah, they've not updated it at all. Thank you for dealing so much damage, please. Thank you very much. Yeah, people just give it a shot to see like, oh, I can show off and stuff, but yeah. Imagine using the light team in Monsterphilia and how big the score is gonna be. I mean, we can try. I mean, there's no harm in trying. I don't remember what Monsterphilia is like, so if I do lose, cut me some slack. I just don't remember. What is this also within 4 members? It is within 4 members. New stage coming soon, brother in Christ. It's been that way since 50 years. Let me replace one of the S-clear teams I've already done. I'll replace this team. Sure. Let me clear everybody. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, let's see what we can do here. How can we cook? Belle, Finn, Fiona. Where is Fiona? There she is. It's way too easy. I know it's way too easy. I want to just see what the score is. I want to see what the score is. I don't really care about anything else. I want to see what the score is. So we'll put that on you. We will put this on you. And we will also put 1 second. We'll put this on her. Where is she? There we go. Let's see. I'm curious. I'm very curious. You know what they say, curiosity kills the cat, and if you aren't curious, you're gonna get killed, so may as well. That doesn't make any sense, but let's see. Let's see what we can cook. Ah, it's War Shadows as well. Alright, let's start off with the normal shenanigans. Let's see what we can cook. Nasty voice. Alright. I should do Gate 8 since 9 was the update. True, I forgot that 9 was the update basically, but yeah. But Satisfaction brought it back. True, very true. So let's see. Okay, that was a joke. That was actually a joke, bro. Okay, fair enough. What is my score? I still barely got an S, I think. Considering all things said and done. I guess it was because the max damage was so little. So you want to kind of delay the fight to get a better score, I guess. I suppose. Let me see. What are people's top scores here? I mean, nobody's done it since a long time, so of course people are gonna run some old scrap like this. I mean, this is the OG team, bro. This was the OG team and a half. But yeah, I think I should probably just use ST attacks and just use stuff like that. Yeah, let me try it again. I want to try it again, then we'll go and do stage 8. We may as well. There's no harm in it. There's nothing happening here. We're getting outfit levels, I guess, but I think everybody's outfit level 30 here, to be quite honest. Let's use Indomitable Sword, Leading Spear, and Agios. Okay. I need to buff everybody up, and then we will use this. I think we'll just have to use ST attacks, actually, immediately. Let's do this, and then... I want to use this just so I can get the thing, but let's see. Yeet, yeet. Okay, how much was my score gonna be? Because I got a much higher attack stat there. Max damage was much higher. Ha! Doubled my score. Great. Okay, good. Very, very funny. Very, very funny. All right, let's move along. Let's see what this is gonna be like. So we'll go here, and yeah, let's try this. So stage 8 was the last one we got before we actually got like one update, basically one floor. Very cool. Very cool, Danmachi. Very, very nice. So let's see. Leading Spear, Agios as well. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh nale. Alright, let's see. Migiri, Firebolt Strike, Leading Spear, Salvation Spear. Okay then. Okay then. Okay. I guess, okay, sure. Single target should have been the course of action there, but let's see what score we got here. A lesser score, funnily enough. A lesser score, I think that was. Yeah, lesser score. But that's because we had no damage whatsoever. We had 0 damage at all. I mean, I guess technically that is true. That technically, I mean, theoretically it is true. God damn it. Alright, let's see now. This, and then this. Let's see. 1.5 million damage. Alright, that should increase my score by like millions. Trillions even. Let's see. Okay, maybe not trillions. It did increase my score by like 100k basically. It's nearly triple the score. Nearly triple the score, but there you go. Yeah. It's a bit of a joke now. With modern units, it's a little bit of a joke. Speaking of CP levels, there we go. More Iris. Fantastic. Alright, let's go back into farming. Was I on yeah, I was gonna go in normal again for a split second there. Whoopsie. Alright, let's continue. Yeah, Monsterphilia is going to be relatively easy provided you have the modern units. If you have modern units, you're able to clear it very, very quickly, to be quite honest. It's just not difficult anymore. You just have to obviously get the right score, but even the score is not that challenging to get, to be quite honest. I forgot that the max damage was a thing, to be honest. Bro, I remember back in the day, I mean, I say back in the day, we still do it for Familiar Royale and stuff. Whenever we do get Familiar Royale, but like I remember way back when Familiar Royale just came out, and bro, the amount of stuff we would do to try and get like max damage within the right amount of turns would be insane, bro. It was so much strategy, bro. I remember like organizing like the Excel spreadsheet for everybody in Tech Fam alongside Zero and everybody just trying to figure everything. Oof. The elements can actually be a little rough in Gate 9. Yeah, I think it was actually a little bit annoying if I recall correctly, but I think it was just a case of like making sure to take like the right anklets and stuff, and going in and being okay from there. But like, yeah, I remember that it was so like, it was very, very, very much so a situation of like, oh, you have to be on it. You have to be on it to make sure you can win, basically. And it was fun. It was honestly a lot of fun. And I miss those days, honestly. I do miss those days. I'll still maintain I don't think Familiar Rush was a better idea than Familiar Royale. I enjoyed Familiar Royale way more. Was Familiar Royale a little bit more restrictive? Arguably, yes, purely because you'd have to have the specific teams for each stage, right? And you'd need a team for each and every stage. But I feel like it was overall a lot more accommodating to people, whereas Familiar Royale demands more of your time, whereas Familiar Rush demands more of your time in terms of like you need to be on at a specific time and stuff like that. And this was way back when people were active. Nowadays, I don't think people care that much, of course, right? Whoever's on can help out. Otherwise, nobody fucking cares. But way back when, you know, when people were actively playing the game, like, it's like, just sounds not great since I agree. I don't think that's an absolutely fair point. I struggled. I remember the first ever Familiar Royale event, which was the AOT event, right? I remember like I was struggling, bro. I was in Tech Fam, like, and we were like top 2 at least until the first couple of Familiar Rushes and stuff, right? We were like the top 2 familiars, and then obviously me being there, I was definitely one of the people who was getting carried. I will admit, I was one of the few who was getting carried. But it was just a case of like, I just didn't have the team for one of the stages. And I had to go and do one of the earlier stages, which still is fine, but like, yeah, it was very tricky, very, very difficult. We lost our first Familiar Royale because of that. I think it was like 3 or 4 of us could not beat that final stage. That final stage against the Colossal Titan, was unbelievably difficult. The Armor Titan, I think. Why did it die out? People just moved on. Tech himself moved on, didn't want to play Danmemo anymore. Then everybody else was also getting, you know, busy with their own lives, or they were also, you know, just getting tired of the game, wanting to move on as well. So everybody just went their own ways, and I think it really started with Familiar Rush because it demanded a lot more of our time, more so than anything else. With Familiar Royale, right? Obviously everybody was on that cusp anyways. But like Familiar Royale, at least the advantage was that, you know, people could do whatever they want in their lives, and then in the evenings or whenever they had the time to play the game, they could play the game. Whereas Familiar Rush, the problem was we needed people to be at certain times, getting people to make sure we were organized. And I remember the first time we did Familiar Rush, we were all over the place because we didn't know exactly how would be the best way to play the mode. And we realized immediately that we weren't going to win the stage really easily because of the fact that we were just not as coordinated as, say, Iris were at the time, because Iris was the top familiar at the time in Familiar Rush and everything, right? And they just were much more coordinated in terms of making sure everybody was on time, everybody was doing the runs at the same time and everything, collaborating and everything. We couldn't do that because everybody just had their own lives and everything, and that just ended up being the case where, okay, if it's not gonna work and the game is gonna demand more time from us, you know, life happens. Like Amphi said, you know, everybody moved on, and yeah, pretty much that was the reason why. It like I said, both events require different things from you. Familiar Rush demands time from you, right? If you go back in time and we were very active, it demands more time from you. Familiar Royale demands more from your box. For me personally, I prefer the box requirement more so, even though yes, I'm unlikely to finish a stage, potentially the third stage or the second stage, you know, Scorpers my plans or whatever it may be. But at least I can be a part of the team and be actually like actively playing and not like trying to figure out like, oh, I need to, you know, set aside this time and I'm busy, so I'm letting down the familiar or something like that. At least it's more understandable from a box perspective because people may not summon on everything, right? Whereas in terms of Rush, it's like, oh, it's dependent on time, which I don't like in any gacha game, to be honest. If the game demands too much time from you, that's a problem. Of course, thankfully, everybody's become a lot more casual since then because, of course, how the game has progressed and how it's evolved and everything, or devolved, arguably, for a lot of people, right? But yeah, it just happens. Yeah, every single familiar back then collapsed immediately because of how Rush was set up. Rush was actually like a big thing for Danmemo, in all honesty. If I had to point a moment where Danmemo sort of fell and started its downward trend, it was Familiar Rush for me personally. I think Familiar Rush was a big mistake, in all honesty. That's my personal opinion. I genuinely believe Familiar Rush was the biggest mistake they could have done, to be quite honest. I think everything else was bearable and manageable. Familiar Rush, no. I don't think Familiar Rush was manageable whatsoever. It was not the right idea to go down. It wasn't the right idea whatsoever. So basically, Iris players don't have a life. Back then, no. I think the thing is, I think what happened was a lot of the Iris players, again, people can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I don't remember Iris from way back when. A lot of them were very young. A lot of them were very, like, still in their, early 20s and stuff. And they had more time. They had more time on their hand versus a lot of us who didn't have the time as well. At least that's my personal belief. I don't know if that's true or not. I could be wrong, very much so. That is also fair. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it just ended up being the situation where they had time, we didn't have time. That's about it. Simple as. I feel a different mobile game that I'm probably quitting since it's just not fun anymore and takes so much time. Yeah, see, at the end of the day, these are mobile games. They aren't supposed to take hours and hours and hours of your day. At most, maybe like half an hour to an hour. Maybe. And that's why even when you play like a story-based gacha game, yes, there's a lot of story in it, like FGO, Genshin, or whatever it may be. But you can pause and come back to it whenever you want. Whereas in a game like, for example, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, or in a game like, Danmemo with the familiar Russian stuff, you need to be on specific times, or you need to do specific times. Okay, the perfect example of a game that takes too much time out of you, Sino Alice, alright? Sino Alice is a game that I remember playing during the pandemic as well. This was during the pandemic. So we had more than enough time. But even that game took so much out of us. Like, I remember me and my Discord members, we were enjoying it, bro. It was the best Guild Wars. I will still maintain the best Guild Wars experience I've seen in any game was Sino Alice. Sino Alice had the best Guild Wars experience I've ever seen. Because honestly, I remember being in VC with some of my Discord members, people I've known for a very long time, and we were banging out the Guild Wars for a couple of days. But then you realize that it just isn't feasible because, one, the Guild Wars happens at very specific times and you have to abide by those times. If you don't, you're screwed. Basically, your guild gets an automatic loss. It doesn't automatically fight for you. And then on the other side, if you wanted to level up characters, the level up stages were only available for like an hour a day, basically, in 3 times. 3 times, 1 hour a day. Doesn't make sense. Did not make sense. I don't know why they were doing it, and it just made things so much more annoying. And unfortunately, we just stopped playing it, even though we had like a week straight of having so much fun on Guild Wars and absolutely winning, clutching up wins and stuff. Bro, I remember there was this one Guild War where we clutched up, which was fantastic, and it just didn't pan out because we didn't have the time for it. But yeah, honestly, games like HSR, Genshin, FGO, yes, they do technically require time when you're working on a character or stuff, but there's no push for you to work on the character. Yes, obviously, if you want to, you can put that time and effort into it, but it's not like you need to finish it off that day itself. You can wait until tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whatever it may be. So yeah, so for me personally, I think, at the end of the day, and coming back to the point I was trying to make, Familiar Rush doesn't make sense at all. I read that as, which is why I love hentai. God damn it. Honkai Star Rail. HSR. Honkai. God damn it. What Ray Garian said. Okay, fair enough. I was like, I said which is why I love HSR as well. But yeah, no, I agree. Not with the hentai one. I mean, you can argue that I like hentai as well, but Honkai more so, yes. But yeah, I just think Familiar Rush was the biggest mistake. It just killed the game, to be quite honest. It started the downward trend of the game, to be quite honest. Obviously, inevitably, the game would have probably seen a downward trend anyways, because people would have been tired of certain things of the game, the repeating content and stuff like that. Inevitably, you lose players because of that. And it's the same reason why I'm not too stressed for Battle Chronicle. If we have, say, 70,000 players day 1, for example, I'm just giving a number out there. I don't think we will have 70,000 players, maybe less, probably, we'll see. And we drop down to, like, say, 35,000 in a couple of days' time. I don't think that it makes a big difference because, well, maybe a couple of days is a bit of a stretch, but let's say 1 month later we drop down to like 40,000 players. That's okay because it's a honeymoon phase. There's a honeymoon phase always with gacha games as well, where for a couple of months people are fine with it, and then over long term, if there are no changes being made, let's say a year on or 2 years on after the 1st or 2nd anniversary, people start to talk. And people move on more so than anything else. So yes. Yeah, they have to plan for it, and again, that's why I'm like, it's something that these companies know as well, very well. They're experienced in this. They've some of these gacha game companies have made 50,000 gacha games at this point, so they know this. This is a market that's quite saturated at this point in time, so I don't think they don't know it. It's just that I'm just saying that this is how it goes usually, where you have to, the company needs to plan ahead, but they need to plan smartly. They can't take 50,000 years from people, you know, and there's 50,000 years of time from people as well. That's something they need to understand. It's something Grand Cross never understood, and it's the reason why not many people like playing the game, and the people who play the game are only playing the game because they either like the franchise or they're making money out of it on YouTube. I'm calling out a lot of content creators there who make Grand Cross content, but yes, it makes money, so you may as well do it. They don't like playing the game. I can tell you that for fact. But it's there, yeah, right? So it's something that's there. I don't play OPTC. I've never played One Piece Treasure Cruise. I have played Epic 7 ages and ages ago. Loved that game story. But I only did part 1 and I stopped playing after a while. And Bleach Brave Souls I've played a lot as well back in the day. I kind of restarted it recently for the anniversary, but I haven't logged in a couple of days, to be quite honest. I've been super busy with IRL stuff, so I've just been away from there. Well, not for you necessarily, Master Sama. Obviously for you, your competitive PvE never existed for you, right? But I'm talking about it from a familiar perspective. So many familiars of olden days. I'm talking about, this is in between, I think, the first year and second year. This is in between the first year and second year, or a little bit after the second year, actually. A lot of people were just simply not interested in the game anymore because of how Familiar Rush was set up, and they just stopped doing Familiar Royale as well. If they had kept Familiar Royale and not made Familiar Rush the standard, which it was for like 3 years afterwards, I think we only started getting Familiar Royale again in like the 4th anniversary, basically. Around the 4th anniversary, basically. A lot of people didn't like the fact that Familiar Rush was the standard, basically, but yes. I mean, if you were a familiar who was willing to do anything and everything, and also were okay with not being competitive in PvE, yeah, you were fine, basically. But yeah. I hope we can gather a bit of, what is this? A lot of currency in Dankro for clearing stages. I don't remember how much they gave in the beta test. Somebody can go and check my videos. I don't remember exactly how much it was. I don't remember. I actually don't remember. But we'll get probably a lot. And I think, I still don't know if they're gonna do it, but I don't like the idea that they're gonna just dump all 4 seasons of content on our heads with the story side. I think it should be only season 1 and 2 first, and then season 3 they'll drop in a couple of months time, and then season 4. I think if they drop all 4 story seasons, you've pretty much used up everything there, basically, in terms of story content. Of course, they can do Sword Rotoria and episode Ryu and Freya, but I mean, why not make it a little bit slower, right? Do 2 seasons of content, then do Sword Rotoria, maybe volumes 1 to 5 or something, maybe season 1 of the anime. Then you can do season 3 of Danmemo, Danmachi, sorry, not Danmemo, Danmachi. Then do episode Ryu and Freya maybe, and then do season 4 or something. You could do it in a much more organized way where the story content is coming at a regular time. But from what it looks like, we're gonna have all 4 seasons on launch. There's no need to rush it. But they're rushing it, which is, I don't know, we'll see. It's funny hearing from outside, even as a Hero 1 player, I've never delved. The thing is, with Hero 1, it's not arguably that time consuming because most fights are turns 1 to 2 in war games, right? Whereas if you look at Familiar Rush, you need to make sure that you're on at a specific time. It's more so being on at a specific time, making sure you're around. If you're not around, you're missing out on the best stage possible and stuff like that. That is the main problem there, realistically. I think it's not the case of like, it's lengthy in time. It's more so it's demanding time from a specific time and day, you know. For war games, I realistically don't feel that it's that time consuming, arguably, right? At least that's my personal belief, because war games, bro, doing 10 passes takes like 10 minutes, arguably, less than even. 10 passes takes like 5 minutes, whereas Familiar Rush, you need to get on at a specific time, you need to do mocks, you need to make sure that, oh, is somebody around to do some runs, oh, nobody's around, fuck, well, then I'm screwed kind of thing, right? That's the problem that came up with Familiar Rush more so. And again, this is me talking from a top familiar perspective back then when we were all very actively trying to get like the top ranks, trying to beat the other familiars and trying to make sure we were maximizing the score. So yeah, there's a big difference from back then versus obviously the last 2-3 years. Last 2-3 years, I said this earlier on, it's become a lot more casual. People don't care as much anymore. So yeah, people will spend early on regardless, and rushing out the content will hurt them long term, but yeah. By making Argonaut and AR light novels, you know, yeah, exactly, yeah, Argonaut and AR will come into Danmachi Battle Chronicle, I believe, 100%. If Amori is going to be making content for Danko, then I don't mind all 4 seasons at launch. Plus, they'll have access to all of Danmemo stories that they can adapt because Amori owns those. True, I agree with that. I don't think they should adapt all the stories from Danmemo because I don't think that makes sense, to be quite honest. I think it would be nicer to have its own stories rather than them doing, like, say, for example, Christmas 2018 again, for example. Yeah, we don't know how much he's involved in. Nobody said anything on how much he's involved, which makes me feel like he's not that involved. We'll have to see on launch, of course, and we'll have to see what he says, because he's been retweeting and obviously supporting the game quite a bit on Twitter, but like there's been no mention of how involved he is, right? Because he could be involved as a supervision level, but we don't know how much else he's involved, right? Sorry. But I think you know, when it comes to Danmachi Battle Chronicle, I hope it has its own events rather than them adapting Christmas 2018 or something like that, right? Let me pull up chatbot again. My bad, by the way. I don't mind them adapting the anniversary stories, because the anniversary stories is absolutely fine for me. If they do like Ada's Vesta again, or they do Knights of Fianna, Argonaut, AR, Grande, that sort of content is a-okay for me. It's just that the general content, not so much. Change up, please. Let's try something different there. Do something unique and go from there. But yeah, I think in that regards, yes, I don't necessarily think it'll be a bad idea as long as the events are good. My concern is realistically the events as well, though, nonetheless, because based on the closed beta test, it ain't looking good, Chief. But again, this might be just me looking at the closed beta test and me judging it too early. And that's what I even said ages ago. I feel like I might be judging it too early. You know, they only had fights in the events, which, please, if you're watching this or if you're listening in, somebody from the Danmachi Battle Chronicle team, first and foremost, please sponsor me. Second of all, please add event stories if possible, because it's not going to be a smart idea to just do battle stages for events. No, that's not a smart idea. Make it so that we have stories connected to that event if possible. It makes much more sense. It makes so much more sense, and it makes it much more valuable to people, especially Danmachi fans, considering we like story, you know? Alright. I don't think anything on this game should be really time consuming. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. And I mean, obviously, as of late, I feel like nobody really minds it that much because, again, like I said, everybody's gone very casual, arguably, right? Not many people are hardcore doing stuff and anything. But I mean, if you look at some of the top familiars and stuff, they probably still are. I don't know. I don't know the behind the scenes of Iris, Waifu, or Starecat or whatever. You know, I don't know what they're doing, and I don't know how much time they put in. But like back in the day, because of how competitive it was time consuming. And I remember, again, you have to remember, this was back in the day when we would have like spreadsheets and stuff of making sure everybody was, you know, on track. This was a period where we didn't have Discord bots to help us, like, you know, calculate everybody's times and stuff as well. You know, it was a case of like we had to manually, you know, go in and do Excel spreadsheets. You know, I was managing an Excel spreadsheet for Familiar Royale, making sure we were getting the score count. We were helping people try and figure out a better score as well. If we noticed that their score was a bit lower, we would check their teams and boxes and stuff, and then we would obviously make sure that everybody was on time and everything and all that sort. When Familiar Rush comes in and you have to be more collaborative and you have to be more on the ball, right, with making sure your runs are being at the right time, are people doing the right stages, and so on and so forth. That makes things a lot more trickier and time consuming. Familiar Royale was all about note down score. Did this guy run? Tick mark. Okay. Did this guy run? Tick mark. Okay, move on. Tick mark, tick mark. Okay, this guy didn't run. Ping him in Discord. Move on. Ping him again in a few hours if he hasn't done it again. Done, right? Familiar Royale was that. Familiar Rush comes in and it's like, okay, this guy does, these 5 guys do stage 1, these 10 guys do stage 2, and then 15 do stage 3 or something, right? And it's like, oh shit. Okay, stage 1 only has like 5 people. nobody's around. Well, fuck. We'll have to throw somebody randomly, or we'll have to just keep pinging them and hoping they come in, you know. But yeah. Pulling out spreadsheets for a mobile game, you say that, but that is the bare minimum we did for Danmachi, bro. You should see some of these other gacha games, bro. I mean, Master Summoner, you've played Dragon Ball games. Have you not seen what they fucking do in Dokkan with ATP and stuff, bro? Fucking APT, not ATP, bro. APTs, bro. Fucking no grass touching motherfuckers, literally. They go nuts, bro. At least we were like much more basic, and it was kind of fun to do it back then because it felt more collaborative. I don't mind doing it for like a collaborative thing because it's nice in that regards. It's kind of like doing an MMO raid or something like that in a way, right? Whereas, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do it for like calcing like an APT score for like Bell or something like that. How much damage does you do per turn? Is it like 400,000 average? Oh no. Okay, this. You can't run this. Oh, Tech Gohan's ass or something like that. No. I don't care about that, to be honest. Couldn't care less about that. But it's fun in some other situations. So yeah. I think Toriyama is involved in all DB, and he's not involved at all. He's backline, but yeah. Can confirm that people go hard. Yeah, it's crazy. Other gacha games, people are nuts. You have to remember, Danmemo is a very casual game in comparison to this. Honestly, actually, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I can find something. Theory crafting spreadsheet. Spreadsheet/doc. Let's say, I'm gonna look if there's one for her. Because she was very much maligned when she released in Genshin. So let's see if I can spot something. Let's see. Actually, let me check KQM. Precon was insane in that regards. There are so many gacha games that have like crazy theory crafters, mathematics geniuses, effectively, or they call themselves mathematic geniuses. To be quite honest, what they do is basically basic multiplication, and that's about it. But no. They act like they're like fucking the next Albert Einstein, basically, bro. TC library. One second. No. TC library. Let me go to the TC library. Alright, let's keep rolling. But yeah, it's if you think about it, Danmachi isn't that bad, in all honesty. You're much better off in terms of Danmachi being a much more grounded game, in terms of it being an actual mobile game. It's nowhere near the same in other gacha games. It's nowhere near the same. Honestly, but the thing is, half the time they're also fucking wrong, bro. They're so... Not half the time. I would say about 25% of the time, they're fucking wrong as well, bro. Fucking... dipshits are continuously saying, oh, EOSF on this, EOSF on that, and brother, half the time it's not even needed. EOSF is not even needed, bro. Yelan pissed me off so much, bro. I've never been pissed off. The only time the Genshin community has gotten a reaction out of me was Yelan way back when she first dropped, and everybody was like, oh, run EOSF on her, and I'm like, motherfucker, why? She loses so much damage on EOSF. How are you saying that she's going to need that, bro? What is wrong with you? But like, yeah, I mean, look at this. 1 second. I mean, it's very basic here, but like, yeah, 1 second. Yeah, in Danmachi, the icons scare people, but honestly, the icons are not even that crazy, honestly. Let me see. Is this gonna be my website? Yeah. Okay, let me check. Let me cook. Like, I've pulled up Yelan for now, but like, these guys actually tested to the minutest of details. Like, look at this. After the first 0.7 seconds, aim shot damage and gauge unit will drop off 10% for every 0.05 seconds. For the arrow travels up in air up to a total of 90%. Like they actually tested out properly. Check out the frames as well. Like, they obviously check out the frames as well and check everything, like in terms of the maths behind the frames and everything. It is insane. Like, they go deep dive into the maths and the numbers behind it, and there's like a evidence vault as well. Like, all this like the ICDs, the gauges, the snapshots. Bro, it's a PvE game where 90% of the player base can fucking 36-star Abyss and finish it off in like one day, in half an hour even. I do Abyss in half an hour without paying attention. So it's just like, it's just nuts how much effort they put into this, bro. It's nuts. It's just nuts. And this is just an example. Of course, Genshin is just an example, but they do this in so many fucking games as well. And I'm like, bro, just... It's a mobile game. It's a mobile game that doesn't... half of these games don't even need you to do like 50,000, but yeah. Imagine him being in one of those insane guilds, that amount of time we need to spend on it. Yeah, it's just crazy. Danmemo is just make sure you got all the pretty pictures on your screen. Exactly. Just make sure they're alive and good to go. That's about it. But yeah, I never understood the idea of... I mean, it's okay. Like, at the end of the day, some of these guys enjoy it. I'm not really gonna stop them from enjoying theory crafting and stuff. I wouldn't necessarily use it as gospel though, because everybody's experiences are different from one another. And at the end of the day, outside of like the more specific details about like frames and stuff, fine. But stuff like, I still don't, like for example, EOSF Yelan, right? The idea behind EOSF Yelan and the reason why they say that they want her to use that is because apparently she deals extra damage, which I have tested out. It's on this channel. I have a video saying why EOSF is bad, and I show as well that the damage output is just nowhere near that of Yelan with, like, say for example, 2-piece HOD or Noblesse or Oblige or whatever it may be, right? 2-piece and 2-piece, or 2-piece of Tenacity plus 2-piece of HOD, 2-piece hydro damage. And then the second reason is, oh, she gets more bursts off, and I'm like, no, she doesn't. She still gets a good amount of bursts off without EOSF as well. And this is at C0 I tested as well. This wasn't even at C1 I tested beforehand. So again, I don't get it. I actually just don't get it, man. I simply don't get these theory crafters sometimes, but yeah. They're mathematicians, bro, what they're forced to. Why not put this endeavor to building a new spaceship or something? Fucking, I don't know. You go to Harvard with the level of maths you're using, clearly, apparently. If you're mathematic geniuses, please go to Harvard and test some stuff out there, please. We need to get people smarter. We need smarter people in the world. We need you to go to Harvard or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean... yeah, at the end of the day, I don't mind necessarily. But the point being, Danmemo was more casual than most gacha games, is what we were saying. I think we went on a tangent there, going from APT to theory crafting and everything. But Danmemo was way more casual than what people think it is. And them adding stuff like Familiar Rush and stuff, I mean, I guess maybe the JP players were expecting more content like that, maybe more active content. I don't know. It's possible because they tend to like these type of contents, but yeah, I just think for us on the NA side, we were kind of doomed in a way, to be quite honest. I don't think a single spreadsheet has been ever created for BBS ever. I actually don't know much about BBS's sort of thing. I only know one YouTuber in the BBS scene, Aranero, I think his name is. I'm pretty much sure I'm butchering his name, because I know somebody in my Discord follows him and stuff, and I've seen their retweets and stuff. But yeah, I don't feel like I've ever seen much about Bleed Brave Souls in terms of damage output and stuff like that. I don't know. But I don't know much about I've never been in the scene, I suppose, of BBS that much, outside of like playing it very casually and just summoning units and just doing events and stuff. That's about it. Yeah, Aaron is a cool dude. Yeah, I think he's done well. I see even like the Bleed Brave Souls Twitter account like retweeting and stuff, and you know, advising people to look at his guides and stuff. So hey, if you can do that and you're able to be in that position, thumbs up there. Honestly, I love to see people being, you know, endorsed by the game itself, because it just adds that sort of legitimacy to your content, which is fantastic. I think it's fantastic. Did you end up pulling the anniversary characters, by the way? No, I didn't get the first part banner units. I'm gonna try and summon on the new units when I get the time. Hi, can you farm Iris limited? Limitus. What do you mean by that? Do you mean can I farm unlimited Iris? If you mean that, Illimitus, I assume that you mean can you farm Iris unlimited? Technically, for a starting player, yes. Arguably, yeah, because you can farm outfit Iris as well as CP Iris. Essentially infinite Iris. Okay, good. Yeah, I was just double checking because I could be misunderstanding him entirely, but unlimited Iris, right? Yeah. You can technically farm unlimited Iris in a way through outfit levels and stuff and CP Iris. Practically speaking, yes. You can also do like, you can watch the videos as well, which I always recommend doing. It takes up like 30 seconds of your day and it's not that intrusive, to be quite honest. I know for a lot of people it is a little bit intrusive, but of course, if you are okay with it, you can do it. There's no harm in doing it. But yeah. So like for example, I've just been farming so far, right? And how much was this? We're 9.5k. We got 32 Iris there, and then we can get another 8 Iris. Ali got to maximum. Wow, Ali's maximum Iris, damn. I went up from 9541 to about 960. So basically about 60 Iris there and there, to be quite honest. I mean, it is going to be slow because, I mean, again, a lot of these units I have farmed a lot of Iris for. I should probably work on some of these older units that are like outfit level 1 and stuff as well, but I'm trying to also balance it with CP leveling. But yeah, it's pretty much unlimited Iris because you can slowly but surely get your way up to a decent amount if you're willing to put in some time and effort. Can a familiar with one person win on FWG only using one account? Because I saw it on our opponent yesterday, one person playing and his familiar had one win. As in, like, for his, do you mean like if they have only one win, can they win the entire fight? Assuming nobody attacks, yes, technically. Technically, yes, as long as nobody attacks. But if somebody attacks, then yeah, it's obviously the familiar that has more players will win. But like, if you mean that, can that person get one win at least? I mean, it's obviously a chance to win if he chooses the right opponent, right? He can get one win, and outside of that, get like a couple of badges and then stop because there's nobody else in the familiar, and also he doesn't get any wins. Should I sink all of my stamina into the an event? Yeah, it's quite worth it actually, because then you can go into the gacha event shop and exchange for a lot of items, and also do the gacha exchange as well, which will allow you to get a lot of tickets as well as items as well. So realistically, well, I would do obviously the story as well. I would probably focus on trying to do as much of the story, but it is also you know, lowered stamina as well. And yeah, how can we farm? Do the stage again and again. 43.5 on 43.5 on Sword Oratoria, the end of Sword Oratoria, and you just chuck random characters in, basically random characters that need outfit levels, and you keep doing the stage again and again on auto. 43.4, sorry, 43.4. So it's this stage, 43.4 in Sword Oratoria, or anything else, you know, any other stage with 0 stamina cost in story on highest difficulty. Yeah, Wyatt can also link you a video that I have where it explains how you can farm stamina Iris. There's ways to farm via CP levels. For example, if you level up CP here through characters list, and if you go here and you dump some CP and you know, you give them some items. Let's say I give this lady 19 of these, for example, just as an example. I'm gonna do this. How much is it gonna level up by? Beautiful. And then you can see I get 10 Iris from this. So if you level up their CP levels by giving them gifts or using that character more often, you will gain a lot of Iris as well. So well worth it. This video is buried so far. Go to my playlist. Go to my playlist. It'll be in the playlist if you can check the playlist, Wyatt, on my channel. If you go to my playlist section and Danmachi Memoria Freese guides, it'll be in there, and it'll be easier to find because it's like 20 videos or so. What happens if both familiar has the same score? Who wins, or is it draw? I think after that it's dependent on who had the... I think it's like who had the higher amount of wins, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I actually don't know what happens during a tie. I don't really look into that I didn't look into that much because it's quite rare. Let me check actually. I'm curious. Oh, general badges and lieutenant badges remaining. Oh yeah, no, I remember that. I actually remember seeing that in the video. I completely forgot as well. It says it here as well. If you go into the help section, it actually tells you, I think. So if you go here, right? Yeah, if both familiars earn the same amount of familiar badges, the familiar with the general with the more familiar badges will win. If the generals have the same amount of badges, then the lieutenants will win. If the above numbers are all the same, both familiars lose. That's too funny. That's just an automatic loss, brother. At that point, you both fucked up, bro. I can't believe what you've done here. Then that's funny. That is actually very, very funny. That at the end of the day, they just call it a day and are like, nah, bro, this is so dumb. How have you let this happen? How have you done this, both of you? How have you let both familiars survive this much? That's funny. That is actually quite funny. All right, have fun on Baldur's Gate. Have fun. Enjoy the game. All right, let's see now. I think we will be wrapping up soon now because I have to wake up early. So I'm gonna wrap it up here actually, over here. By the way, if you ever want to put a campaign together, I'm so down. On Baldur's Gate, I don't know if I'm buying the game, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm buying any game in the next month right now. I am daunted by the concept of having to pay rent very, very soon. So I don't think I'm going to be spending on anything anytime soon in the next month, but maybe November onwards I'll be in a position to basically spend on something. But right now I'm just I have nothing. I'm actually on the ropes right now. I'm on the ropes right now trying to figure out everything. So yeah, definitely maybe in the future, because I like the look of the game. I've seen a little bit of footage. I don't know what Baldur's Gate is like though, to be honest. It's gonna be a completely brand new game for me, but I like the look of it and it seems like a very, very interesting concept. And I like my RPGs as well, so I definitely want to play it if possible in the future. And I've heard a lot of people gas it up, so definitely in the future. Thanks for the help. No worries. Imagine if both families can completely farm each other. That's not very likely to happen purely because of how everything is structured, and you know, it's hard to get that happening. But yeah, because it means that the one familiar should be able to win all their fights and the opposing familiar should win all their fights, but that doesn't make any sense, because if this familiar is able to win against this familiar, then how is the opposing familiar winning against this familiar? You know what I mean? So it becomes very tricky there. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Appreciate all of y'all for stopping by. Like I said, no video on this channel today. I'm gonna be taking a little bit of a day off today because I want to, well, eat and then go to sleep. There will be 2 videos out tomorrow most likely, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you guys all for stopping by. Appreciate all for tuning in. I will see you guys in a future live stream, maybe next week, sometime next week, and on Thursdays. We'll see. I think we will be live for when the banners go live, so of course tune into that, of course. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.